of the things that will help us, inshallah, to have a chance of having that dua answered. And I will find it on the break, inshallah, the evidence for that. But when doing the research, yes, that is something that is encouraged. It doesn't show a lack of faith. It's the opposite, that hey, this is something that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me to do, to increase the number, even to repeat the dua over and over and over. So no, that is something that is encouraged, not discouraged. Absolutely. Okay. So next slide is.
I'm sorry. One other thing we didn't hit on the do not raise keeping the moderate voice. A lot of times when we're in prayer, some people get very emotional, or a lot of conviction, right? And they'll get really into it. Okay, but we see time and time again the recommendations in the Quran and also in the Hadith are not to raise your voice too high. And how I would kind of put this in layman's term: don't get too carried away, don't get too dramatic. Remember that poise is best, right? So a nice, consistent, reasonable level, whether you're screaming, crying, pulling your hair, or just in this consistent tone, the message is the same. So while we want to encourage the sincerity and the humility, and it's important, especially to make sure you have that like tadarru, where you're asking with all your heart in that sense, but it's really not necessary to just don't equate the raising of the voice with this is getting better, or that I'm somehow exponentially increasing the likelihood of my prayers being answered. There's no correlation there. Actually, what we're encouraged and what we see in the sources is that you should have a moderate tone, and you should try to not raise your voice too high.
And this word that we see come up over and over in ayat concerning dua, okay, jaba yajibu, it actually it suggests like a private conversation. Okay, this comes from more of something that's intimate, an intimate conversation. Not saying that it's not okay to, obviously it's okay to have, when in witr and the imam is making dua, that's fine. But we also have to make sure that the only time we're making dua isn't when we're saying ameen, in salah when the imam is making dua, or at the end of the khutbah when the imam makes dua, but we're not actually doing it for ourselves, in the depths of the night or any other time for our own selves. So we have to, again, make sure that we have this private conversation with Allah Azza wa Jal, okay, on our own, on our personal level again.
I want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like what Sister Aisha said, I'm sorry. Like sometimes when people feel like their dua is not being answered, or like they keep asking for the same thing, sometimes that's a way that Allah wants us to continue to ask. Like that's a form of worship, to continue to come to Him and ask Him for that thing. Maybe that's what's keeping that connection. Like we want it so bad, we're going to keep asking for it, keep coming. So, like, I don't ever think anyone should feel discouraged or like, oh, I'm keep asking, am I being ungrateful, am I not being patient enough? It's actually a form of worship to keep asking for that thing.
Yeah, good point. Very good. MashaAllah. The next tips, the when and the where. Dua tips, the when and the where. Okay? So, we'll go over the whens first. An hour on Friday. So there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said there is an hour on Friday. He didn't specify. The Prophet ﷺ didn't specify. He said there is an hour on Friday when the dua is answered. Okay? Now some of the scholars have said that that's the last hour in Friday, like essentially before Maghrib Friday night. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Between Asr and Maghrib, that time. But in general, on Friday, we should increase in our dua. That is a blessed day, okay? And so there is a time during that day when du'as are answered, so we should increase in our du'as on that day. Between the adhan and the iqamah. And this is an amazing one, and one that we don't take advantage of. I don't take advantage of nearly enough. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith reported by Anas ibn Malik that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said between every adhan in iqamah, the dua is never rejected. That's 5 times every day we have that opportunity. You know, it's a golden opportunity, better than a golden opportunity. And like normally, right, if we're at the masjid, the adhan is called, either we're outside hanging out, you know, or if we're inside, we're socializing, or, you know, we didn't even like really have the foresight to think between adhan and iqama, I'm getting in some dua time, so I'm going to make wudu now. No, so then we're like making wudu, using the bathroom, trying to rush in here, you know, all of that stuff. Golden opportunity, really, between adhan and iqama. 10 minutes right there. You have enough time to focus. You know, it's not like a long amount of time. It's not last third of the night. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're not able to do that. Between the adhan and the iqama, every adhan and iqama, that's 5 times every single day, you know, that we have that opportunity. So, and you see there are opportunities like this for us all around, where Allah Azza wa Jal puts blessings in certain times, in certain things. We just have to take advantage of it. You know, we don't have to be in Mecca on an odd night to go and to make dua, this dua that's going to change our life. It could be right here on a Tuesday, be on at Dhuhr time, you know? So, but we have to like take that opportunity and use it.
If you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Concerning Sister Aisha's question,
Mm.
this is what we call in Arabic الحاح. Insistent. You understand? I want this, and he keep repeating. I told you I don't have it. You say, you have this, okay? الحاح في الدعاء.
الحاح.
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 Yes, okay? And he's saying the second issue here about الحاح في الدعاء, something that Allah, I'm going to, this is my broken English translation, okay? So this is not exact, okay? Saying to insist in the dua and repeat it again and again, one of the things which Allah is pleased with it. This doesn't show any objection or disagreement with Allah's qadr and decree, okay? And this shows a sign of ubudiyya and being a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it shows that your iman, your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim is saying, وَمِنْ أَنْفَعِ الْأَدْوِيَةِ الْإِلْحَاءُ فِي الدُّعَاء. One of the most beneficial cure and medicine is to insist in your dua again and again and again. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, only a few seconds more. Okay, if you don't mind. Okay, can I?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Sheikh.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال يستجاب لأحدكم ما لم يعجل يقول دعوت فلم يستجب لي. Say, Abu Hurairah, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah will answer your call as long as you are not hastening. Say, I made dua and I made dua and nothing been happening yet, okay? So that means a person after this will give up and stop making this kind of dua. So it is something recommended and it is something good and it shows your trust in Allah. And sometimes Allah delays something from you so you can keep doing it. You understand? Because now it gives you this sweetness of communication or relating to Allah, and you know that He is the one who can give. So you be patient and you keep saying it again and again and again. You ask Allah to give it to you all over whatever that you want from something good, inshallah.
I mean, Jazakallah khair. Another time or place that we should be making dua is in salah, in salah, okay? Especially in sajda, okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the closest anyone is to his Lord is in sajda. The translation, obviously, of the hadith. So increase your dua. Increase your dua. For indeed, the chances for acceptance are high in sajda. Okay? So everybody knows what sajda is? Is there anyone that doesn't know what sajda is? Okay, when you're all the way prostrated, right? Prostration. So in that, you should increase in your dua. Make more dua. Okay? So tonight, again, it's an odd night. All right? If you're praying at home, and let's say maybe you're like, I want to make a lot of prayer tonight, but I don't really know any long surahs. I don't know Surah Al-Baqarah. I can't make a very long salah. It's okay. Say what you know. Make your sajda long and make dua in sajda. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ is telling us to increase our dua at that time and in that position.
I just wanted to make another note on the sajda piece before. So if you can I go, or do you want to?
No, go ahead.
Before he goes to the next note, two things that are found pretty remarkable when I was looking into this idea of making your dua while in sajda. So yeah, what he said sajda is prostration, but it's more than that, right? So there are a lot of references in when Allah talks about punishment, right? You grab them from the forelock, or things like that. So we understand what is the importance of this forehead, this part of our body. This is the highest, most elevated part of the human when he stands erect, right? And Allah talks about how He created all the animals and then He made us, the human beings, to stand as standing, right, with our heads high. So this is the highest part of the human being. Also, what houses our brain? What houses our intellect? What could be a source of a lot of arrogance for some people? This is the highest point of your body. This is also where we house, let's say, our brain power and our intellect. We come to Allah in a position of humility. We bring the highest part of our body down to the floor, down to the ground, down to the dust, to the earth. Well, hopefully you have a prayer rug, right? But the point is, this is the example of humility. This is the best time, one of the best times to make dua, and here we see why. Because if someone is coming to you in all sincerity and they are bringing themselves to the most vulnerable position, completely not just bowing but prostrating, and this is what Allah sees when we're in sajda. And the Prophet ﷺ was such a fan, or such a proponent of making dua while in sajda, that there are numerous hadith where Aisha radiallahu anha, she almost thought like either he disappeared, or there was one where she couldn't find him, she didn't know where he was in the house. Another one where she thought that he had been down for so long that she thought maybe he had passed out or something had happened to him, to the point where he was down there for so long in sujood, likely making dua, right? So that she got concerned for him, that she just went to like touch his pinky, be like, you still there? You still okay? That's how long he was in sujood. So one of the challenges from this workshop tonight, when you go home, when you're praying, when you're conveying your deepest, most sincere prayers to your Lord, how long can you stay in sajda? How long can you, let's say the longest, I don't know, I've ever gone 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Challenge yourself to double that, or to make that plus 1/3. Challenge ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves to really push for this. One of the last odd nights. When you're in sujood tonight, practice what the Prophet did. Stay down there so long that whoever's in the house with you is like, oh, do I need to check on this person? What's going on here? And that is when we talk about the benefit of praying, of making dua while you're in sujood. This is what you need to be thinking about. Aisha, the mother of the believers, this is what the stories that she's telling us. We have to be cognizant, and we would be remiss not to take that opportunity to really. So I just wanted to expound on that a lot, because this was something I wasn't well aware of until I really started to do the research, and I said, oh my God, this is such an amazing method. We should definitely be taking advantage of it. Sorry, go ahead.
Just seeing if the Sheikh had anything to add. No. So the next one?
He's adding another phone.
The one who is fasting at iftar time. The one who is fasting at iftar time. Okay, so we've all been there, 29th, 28th day of Ramadan. So alhamdulillah, we've been fasting now for 4 straight weeks. And right before Maghrib time, who knows what's going on? Those last 5 minutes there, we're socializing, we're outside, we're speeding, trying to get to the social iftar that we're going to be late for, in the kitchen cooking. But that is like a time where we should really put everything on pause. Seriously, even if it's like 3 minutes, and make some dua. The Prophet ﷺ said, there are 3 whose supplication is not rejected. The fasting person when he breaks his fast, the just leader, and the supplication of the oppressed person. So one of these three people who Allah Azza wa Jal does not reject their dua is the person when they break their fast. The fasting person when they break their fast. So say some dua right there before you eat that date. Okay? Make some sincere dua. That is the time when you should be like the most weak physically and you're really feeling that dependence on Allah. It's like, I haven't eaten for 15 hours, ya Allah, I need you, you know? And really, you should feel it right then. Like your dua should be so sincere right then that you know, us as humans who think that we're so strong, so great, this and that, this date is gonna make us feel better, you know? Like a half a cup of water is gonna make me feel better. I'm weak without this water, you know? So that should really humble us. So that's one of the times when we should be making du'as, you know, at the time of iftar, like when we're breaking our fast. The last for the when is in the last third of the night. Okay, the last third of the night is a very, very blessed time. Allah Azza wa Jal in His Majesty comes down to the lowest of the heavens and asks who is asking of Him. And so this is a time most of us aren't awake at that time. My father is usually awake, right? So, but most of us usually aren't awake at that time. But that's the key. When everybody else is sleeping, you know, that's when you should be letting yourself stand out, right? Some of us like get to work early so we can stand out, right? Or we do the extra credit on the exam so we can stand out amongst everybody else. What about when everybody else is asleep, hugging their pillow, drooling, and you're doing ibadah, you're making dua, subhanallah. Okay, so the last third of the night is a very, very blessed time. And subhanAllah, it's just tranquil. It's tranquil. Even in 2019, you know, living in a city and the world is crazy still. 3 a.m., it's just, things are calm. You know, there's like a calmness to it. You can't deny it. Two other times when our dua has a higher chance of being accepted, when it's raining, okay? When it is raining, and lastly, when traveling. So in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and this is similar to the hadith that I just mentioned, but in this one, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 3 supplications that are answered without a doubt: the supplication of someone who is oppressed, the supplication of someone on a journey, meaning a traveler, and the supplication of a parent for their child, or parents for their children. So this is another time when you're on a journey, you know, traveling, make some dua. That's a great time to make dua. Last for dua tips, and then we're gonna force you guys to take a break. The who, right? So who should make dua? We've been over how, when, where, who should make dua? This one's the easy one. Great job, Sister Sakina. Everybody, you should make dua. I should make dua. We should all make dua. We should never feel like we've made enough dua. We're good, right? Like, it's Ramadan. I've kind of been at it for 4 weeks. I'm probably good for the next 2 days. I can take off. No. All of us there's always something else to be making dua for. Okay? We should never feel like, you know, my father was just saying that we should never feel like, okay, am I doing it too much? You know, astaghfirullah, is Allah gonna get annoyed with me? Of course not. You know, this is Allah Azza wa Jal we're dealing with. This isn't humans that's gonna get tired of you if you come day after day asking. No. Increase. And subhanAllah, the more you start to make dua, and it's like anything, right? The more you learn about something, the more you realize that you don't know. Mm-hmm. The more you start making dua, like stuff just starts popping in your head. Oh, you know, at first you're like, I'm struggling with the light bill. Before you know it, you're making dua for your parents, you know, and you're making dua for your children, and you're making dua for all these things that that you totally forgot about. So let it out. You let it out. There's always something to be making dua for, to be asking Allah Azza wa Jal for, and especially, and again, and this is a lot of it is tying back to that hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, because we are in Ramadan, and that's kind of what like made us want to do this. But a lot of it goes back to that. So what's the one thing that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her to ask for? Yeah, forgiveness, to be pardoned, right? So yeah, ask for whatever else. Ask for the job, ask for the degree, ask for everything else, but increase in asking for the forgiveness. Increase in asking for the akhirah, right? Increase in asking for guidance. Those things. Don't put those on the back burner. Make sure that we ask for those. Who else in the who category? Ask for those for your loved ones, okay? Make dua for others. Again, the parent making dua for their child. Parents. Sheikh. Make dua for your children. Sister Sakina, make a dua for your child. And then on the flip side, if you're blessed enough to have righteous children, them making dua for you. And this is something, of course, we know that when we die, the Prophet ﷺ said that when the son of Adam dies, that all of their deeds stop. All of our deeds stop. Right? No more salah, no more siyam, no more ruku', no more sadaqah, unless it's one of three things. There can be sadaqah if it's a continuous charity, a sadaqatul jariyah, okay? You dug a well and now people are still using that, okay? You built the masjid, people are still praying inside of it, okay? Or beneficial knowledge, Bismillah, inshallah, you wrote a whole bunch of books and people are still reading them. This can benefit you while you're in your grave. Or you have a righteous child who's praying for you after you've passed away. Okay? So, the children, make dua for your parents. And Abby, isn't there a hadith about if you're making dua for someone that the angels are saying Ameen, Ameen?
And for you also the same.
Yes. So Sheikh just confirmed that that's another incentive, another benefit for us making dua for other people, is that the angels who don't sin, aren't like us, they're then making dua for us, right? They're saying Ameen, and for you as well. So make dua, that's subhanAllah. Last thing before we go to break. Like, we all have disagreements with people, right? When you have a disagreement with someone and you really want to make yourself get over it, try to make dua for that person.
Yes.
It will really, really just tear down whatever hate or, that you have for that person.
Animosity.
It will make you just have a soft spot in it will make you, if you're forcing yourself to, even if you don't want to, you do it anyway. That person, you feel like they wronged you, whatever, try to make dua for them. Fight against your own self.
Yes.
Towards making dua for that person.
Allah guide my wife.
I mean.
Which one? Not this one. Sure.
So that's something that we should do, It's like ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to increase that person in rizq, even if you don't really like them. SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
It makes you like really start to have an affection for them, and it starts to, humble yourself. So, all right, let's take a break. Yeah, one more from the Sheikh.
In case I'm not here in the second session, I want to make something, you may already have said it or not. It's very important to understand every dua dua.
Every dua.
Every
The one in the white
dua that
hijab.
you're doing, Allah is answering.
That's right.
But
Mm-mm.
some of us is misunderstanding the way of answering.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
You already said it?
No, I didn't say it.
It's
I'm not
coming.
sure if I included. Did I include that?
Anyway.
The three ways? Can you say it on the mic? Because it's really important. Please?
I think my voice can reach your door.
Yeah, because I think some of the sisters are listening. Yeah, because this is really important. Please.
Okay, what about the say it, and after this you say it in English.
Okay.
Okay.
There is a three-way immediate say it in the good English. You know your father English is not that good.
Okay.
Anyway, that means any dua, whenever you turn to Allah and you make a dua, Allah is answering your dua. But He answers it in one of three forms.
Mm.
Number one, He gave you what you asked Him exactly.
Mm.
Or He will reserve the reward of this in Yawm al-Akhirah, the day of judgment. He will give you, instead of this, what you ask, he will give you a reward. And the third one, form of answering, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will prevent a calamity was supposed to be falling in you. As a result of this dua, Allah will remove it not to fall in you. So under any condition, you never can be a loser when you make a dua. Translate to them, please.
So, yes, Sister Mina.
Now I have a question about that. So, for example, if you ask for something and Allah is removing the calamity by not giving it to you, how do you know that if you keep on asking for it?
So keep asking. I'm not losing.
Okay, but you're just not gonna get it.
Sister, he said that Allah would remove the calamity that would befall you because of you receiving that which you asked for. Didn't say he would remove that. He would still answer your dua. He would give you what you asked for, but he'll remove the calamity that would have befallen you. At least that was my understanding.
That
Yeah,
means
sorry.
there's three ways. One of them, Allah had decreed that when I cross the street, that I'm going to get hit by a car.
Right.
But I happened to ask him, give me
A caution.
a car. What's this? Give me what? Protection? No, give me a car, okay? So now, it is Allah decreed both of them, decreed that you're going to be making dua, and He decreed that you're going to hit by a car, but He will make this the
Substitute.
or to take over this and to stop the car accident. So you did not get, okay, I lost my keys. I say, oh Allah, I want to find my keys. Please, Allah, I want to find my keys. You may find your keys. This is one. So the dua is answered. Okay? The other one, you did not find the keys, but what? Allah will save the blessing of this dua for the day of judgment. Or that this keys is not. So that means you may get it or you may not. How do you know that this doesn't matter? You know or you don't know? You keep making the dua. Let's say, as example, doctor said to the sister that he never can have a child. Okay? And she keep asking for a child. Alright? She keep asking for a child. She didn't know that Allah had saved her from this fire that happened in the building. She was saved instead of giving her a child. But what prevented her to stop asking for a child? So she will keep with the dua regardless, because she is not loser. She never going to be loser with making dua. And you don't know, as example, let's good example about what happened with Khidr and Prophet Musa. Okay? We know وَأَمَّا الْغُلَامُ فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. Why the Khidr killed this boy? And Musa was mad at him, said, wow, what crazy? How you can kill a child, innocent child, did not do anything wrong. He says that this child is the only child for the parents, and they love him so much. But Allah knows that this child, when he grow up, is going to be a kafir. And because they love him so much, he will persuade them from Islam to kufr. So it's better to lose a child, okay, than losing Islam. You see? So Allah took the child, but for the good for the parents, instead of them dying kafir. So I can still say what? Oh Allah, give me a child, give me a child, give me a child. I'm not talking about myself, don't look at me. Oh Allah, give me a child.
Oh my God.
All right, break time.
I was giving you example.
Jazakallah khair, jazakallah khair. Okay.
Thank you everybody for being here.
Okay.
Yes, I could not come to the other session. because,
Okay.
You know, I was broadcasting while you broadcasting. I have another thing. Thank you very much.
10-minute break?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here's the point about the break. It's 7:09. We're gonna get started right at 7:19. Okay, so please take your 10 minutes, do what you gotta do, maybe come back, give yourself a 2-minute buffer time,
Inshallah.
all right? Because
10
now,
minutes.
we're gonna go right into the exercises. No, the workshop exercise. Stretch, people, stretch.